Just a quick video about this HPRT printer. It's about the size of a hockey puck, I guess, and that's all there is to it. This cord is just for charging USB. You can see the size here. We're going to see just how resilient it are. It uses this app called HerePrint. And the label I have in there is one of the gap labels, I believe. When you first download the app, you do it by scanning a QR code on here, and a lot of sort of funny things happen. You get like some Facebook stuff pops up, and then other stuff that you don't really want, but you just kind of say no thanks and skip it and keep moving on, and eventually it'll download the app without an issue. And so hold down the power button for a few seconds to turn on or off the printer. So there we go. The light come on. So you just kind of hold your thumb over this little round indentation thing there for a couple seconds, and on it comes. So it's on. I've got a label here. It says test print. That's the label I have. It's got the little whatever, crocodile, alligator, what have you in it. And this is what it looks like on the screen. So I'm just going to say print. Says, do you want to connect to this printer? Yes, I do. Said the printer was connected. Press that twice to calibrate the position of the labels to make sure it comes right to the edge there. So that works fine. Printer. There's the printer. I'm going to tell it to connect. It says printer connected. So I'm going to try to tap print again. Oh yeah, this is going to work. Okay. So it works fine. You have to very carefully follow the steps prescribed. There's my test print, and I'm actually going to put this on this plastic container here. Nice size. So this works fine. The internal battery, once you charge it up, it lasts a fair while. I don't know exactly how many labels it would print, but it works good. So I'm going to put this on the other side of our little plastic container. I've tried putting the stickers so far on metal, plastic, paper. Seems to work fine. And they stay on pretty decent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting some water in this and freezing it overnight in the freezer, and see how those labels hold up if you labeled, your stuff in your freezer, your frozen meat or whatever. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, you got to spend some time with it. Don't rely on the directions in here. They're okay for what they tell you, but as you saw here, there's a good deal of stuff that they don't tell you. But yeah, it works fine. I bought some spare labels. It comes in a package of 3. You get 2 that have the gaps and 1 that is continuous. I'm going to replace the label that's in there with this and see how it works. So let's just see if we can do that without doing a lot of stuff. I'm probably going to go ahead and turn it off. Just hold my finger on there again. Dump this over, kind of tip it out. Take this and put it in. We'll just thread it through there, kind of snug it up in here. And again, we have the option to scan to get templates. And sure enough, it returns without any hassle. Sticker name white, continuous paper, and that's exactly what's in there. So I'm gonna edit that, double click to modify that. So I'm going to type a little bit of a lengthy message in there. We'll say that's okay. It did stretch it out to show, you know, it's as long as the message, I guess, is what it's telling me. And tap on that. I don't think we probably can't make it too much larger. It's off the paper. There we go. That's better. That's about as large a font as you can make it. Still be that long. So that's going to look good, I reckon. And yeah, so let's just see what it. Oh, close my printer and turn it on. There we go. You're supposed to tap this twice to get it to kind of position the paper when you first load it in. I wouldn't do that too much because you waste a lot of paper that way. But anyway, that's the way we did that. And now we've got that continuous paper in there, and we're going to try to print that message and see how it comes out. I have to connect again after I turn it off and back on. And now we'll try print. Print. It says you're currently using continuous paper. This is not the same as last time because I was using those little labels before. Do you want to continue print? Yes. Okay. So there we have it. I didn't do a good job of positioning my text, so I moved it over too far and cut some of the print off the beginning. But you see it did, you know, make the label as long as the text was, and it did fit 2 lines on there. A lot of little label printers can't do that. Pretty nifty little printer. Now, it would be nice if it was a darker print, but that's very legible. And if I had positioned it better, I wouldn't have cut it off over here on the edge. So not too shabby. So different kinds of labels, different kind of templates, if you will, and scan your thing of labels when you get it to get templates on here on your app that will fit on the space you have on that type of label that is represented by the QR code. That's all there is to the printer. For a handy little printer that does print accurately and offers a bunch of different formats of labels, different sizes, a couple of lines of print, even in 11 point or so font. You can make the font quite a bit larger. It's reasonably priced. Maybe sometime down the road I'll modify this about how long I found the battery to last, but it's certainly a few hours. You're not going to normal it continuously, but if you do, just plug in a little USB charger in the back, or perhaps you've got a USB battery pack like this. That'll work fine too. Imagine being out in the field somewhere. You're gonna go to visit a cabin or something of yours. Not bad. Check it out. So that was our label test. Here's the first one I printed. It says test print 1. And it spent the night in the freezer. Another little label, frozen water. It doesn't, I'm not going to try to dig it off, but it's not loose at all. The printing isn't, rubbing over it. Obviously this is a little wet with condensation from being in the cold freezer, but really no negative effect on the print. It's well adhered and worked fine. I'm pretty pleased. So if you need something to label your packages in the freezer, it looks like this would do the job. Here's a label I stuck on this metal box here about a week or so ago. So came off, no residue here, no damage to the painted surface. The label is even intact mostly. So this is our container that we had frozen overnight in the freezer, and removing the labels on this was just as easy as removing them off that metal surface showed a minute ago. No residue left on the plastic. The label came off in one piece, and that's after being sitting in the freezer overnight. I showed earlier there was no smudging or anything on the label, and it removed, quite easily. You just get a hold of the corner and pull it off. The surface I previously showed, it had been on there about a week. Came off just fine.